Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. I'm Devonna Pittman, and this is an open letter to the residents of Ford Heights, Illinois. For those of you who don't know where Ford Heights is a suburb of Chicago, southeast of Chicago in Illinois. And I was born and raised in Ford Heights and moved to Minnesota when I was about 20, 21 years old. So I've been gone a long time. And what I'm about to say, I haven't said publicly before, so this will be my first time ever saying this. I know right now somebody's watching this going, why does she care? Why is she inputting her thoughts and ideas around Ford Heights? Well, it's because I do care. And I wrote my book in 2012, and a lot of people were offended by what I said in my book. They thought that I was speaking negatively of the town, and that I was made disparaging comments about Ford Heights. Well, that couldn't be further from the truth. I've always loved Ford Heights since I was a little girl, growing up there. I used to run around Golden Meadow, the projects, every street in Ford Heights I've walked up and down many times, me and my cousins and my friends, and I love Ford Heights. So if people don't believe that, or if you don't believe that, then that's your prerogative and you have that right. But I hope that after you listen to this message that you will hear me out, and that you will allow your conscience to direct you in this upcoming election, which is why I felt it very important to make this video. It has come to my attention that in the last local election, only 710 people voted. And I found this information on the Cook County website. On the website, it says that 5,800 people are registered voters in Ford Heights. And I believe it was 2,800 people listed as residents. Now, that's a huge discrepancy. And I don't know where that would get corrected, but I do know that only 710 people voted. And that to me is a crisis. The fact that only 710 people voted in the last election, y'all, that's a crisis. It really and truly is. And I get it, because sometimes I feel that I can't make a difference in politics. Or I sometimes feel that politicians are going to do whatever it is that they want to do. My vote doesn't matter. Well, your vote does matter. It absolutely does matter. And so it's important for you, everybody from Ford Heights who live there and who is watching this video, it's important. Your vote matters. What if those 710 people who did vote wake up and decide, I'm not going to vote either? The town needs resources. The town needs money. The town needs help. And if you allow your conscience to speak to you, I know that you will agree. Your vote is so important. And I could say a whole lot of other things in this video, but I really want to focus on what's important. And what's important is using your voice. Our ancestors died for us to have the right to vote. Our ancestors were harassed, they were shunned, they were beat, and they were killed. And so even if at some election time, I feel like my vote doesn't matter, I will continue to vote, because that's how important I believe it is, because it is our right. And if someone cared enough about you to stand up for what they believed in, then you should care enough to go out and vote. It's an important right that we have as citizens to vote. Now, I'm not here to tell you who to vote for, because that's your choice. You have to vote your conscience. But I will say that if you don't vote, you don't have a right to complain about anything that happens in your community. I know that there's a select group of people who can't vote, and people all across the country are working on that. People are pushing policy and legislation through so that individuals who have felonies and people who are not U.S. citizens will have a right to vote. In the meantime, if you aren't able to vote, there are other things that you can do. You can get the word out to individuals and encourage people to vote. You can make sure that people understand how powerful their vote is. And you can support those who are running for office. And how do you do that? Well, you can donate to their campaigns. If you don't have anything to donate, you can donate your time. You can also share this video. It's really important, Ford Heights. Again, Cook County needs to know that we exist. They need to hear our voices. And I say our because I spent 20 years of my life in Ford Heights. My mother, Dorothy Bentley Miles, is still in Ford Heights, where she moved back to start a church. She has a food shelf, so for those who are in need of food, my mom gives away thousands of pounds of food every month. And that is an awesome, 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 awesome thing. There are other good things happening, and I'm not saying that there's not good things happening, and I'm not saying that I'm not invested in those things, because the future of Ford Heights is important to me for many different reasons. And I hope that it is important to you. You have to show that you love the town that you live in. You have to prove that what is important in Ford Heights is important to you. And how do you do that? You do that by using your voice. And how do you use your voice? You use your voice by using your vote. Use your voice, use your vote. There are a lot of people who moved away from Ford Heights. And there's a small group of people who say, I will never ever go back. But that's not me. I go to Ford Heights 2 to 3 times a year. And I will go more if I could. But life goes on. Make sure that if you love Ford Heights, if you care what happens to your town, if you want more resources to flow through Ford Heights, you have to vote. You absolutely have to vote. The fact that only 710 people voted in this last election, that grieves me. And that also says to me that if only 710 people voted in the local election, then less or the same amount of people voted in the federal race, which is why, and I'm not saying Ford Heights is 100% to blame for the president that we ended up with, because nobody deserved what we ended up with. But I'm saying if there are other communities across the country that felt that way, that felt their vote doesn't matter or didn't matter, then it definitely made a difference in the results. And so I am encouraging you, I'm encouraging everyone who's watching this video to share this video with your friends, with your family. Encourage them to vote. Encourage them to get out and canvass and tell people how important it is for us to make a difference, because we can make a difference. Every time we open our mouths to support good politicians and legislation, we're making a difference in our community. And if we don't open our mouths and use our vote and our voice, then things will happen and we won't have anything to say about it, because that's where decisions are made. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. I love you. I love Ford Heights. May God bless Ford Heights. May God bless you. Please, please, please encourage your family and friends to vote. And you vote. I would love to go back and look at the Cook County website 6 months from now and see that more than 710 people voted. Get your people out to vote, because this is your right. This is your right as an American citizen to vote. So make sure you vote. God bless you. I love you all.